So, this pedal board that I have pretty much had this exact same rig and setup for the last, I don't know, 4, 5 years now. Pretty much everything, the way that I've laid it out has stayed the same since about 2016. The only things I swapped out is a volume pedal for another volume pedal, a boost for a boost. This pedal board actually blew up once on me, and that's why I decided to get a Helix as well. So the power supply got switched up. But what I've decided to do is I want to start using this pedal board live and in the studio again with more flexible options. So I have gotten the wonderful Line 6 HX Stomp, and I'm going to put it on my board. Well, I'm not going to put it on my board, but my friend Matt New of Pedal to the Metal is going to redo my whole entire pedal board. And we're going to get this pedal onto here. So now I have the ultimate studio and live board. Let's go! Well, I have made it to Taramara Music with the man himself, Mr. Matt New of Pedal to the Metal. Matt, would you like to explain to me and to everyone watching, what is Pedal to the Metal? What do you do? What services do you do?
Yeah, sure. Pedal to the Metal started a couple of years ago officially. So I do all types of pedal board maintenance, servicing, rebuilds, rewires, you name it. So anything that's related to pedals and pedal boards, I do that. We also do custom cables, also do lessons, music, basically anything music service related we do, yeah.
There you go. That is Pedal to the Metal. And he is going to redo my entire pedal board. And if people want to find out about your site, Matt, where do people find you?
So our website is www.pedaltothemetalmusic.com, and we're also on Facebook and Instagram. So give us a like, and yeah, we'll help you out with your pedal board needs.
That's the one. And he also is a customer service guy here at Taramara Music, located in Taramara, Sydney. And yeah, this is what his stuff is over here. And I'm gonna do my pedal board right now. Alright, it is January 4th, 2022, and I'm back here at Taramara Music to go pick up my board from Matt of Pedal to the Metal Music. So, let's go do this thing. So, I'm back here at Taramara Music with the man himself, Pedal to the Metal himself, who just finished off my board. And it's pickup day today, and look at this go. Sheesh. Wow. I've never seen my board look so clean and solid in my life.
And that's just the top. Let's have a look underneath.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Got a cable tie that's come loose. There we go. There we go.
Look at that.
So as
It's
neat
alive.
as I could possibly get it.
Mate, that is beautiful. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Next thing I know, that girl was in my dreams, babe. Said you make me feel alright, and I wanna say yes, but this is crazy.
Well, hello everyone. Here is my brand new pedal board in all its glory. Laid out and built by my wonderful friend Matt New over at Pedal to the Metal. He did such a fantastic job on this, as you guys saw the time lapse on it. He really took his time and did everything from the ground up, making sure that this board is pretty much like rock solid and ready to go in every situation. And I'm so grateful for his incredible work, and grateful that he has been asking me for the longest time, for the past few years. He's been going to me, mate, if you ever need your pedal board redone, or if you need anything fixed up, please contact me. I would love to help you. And I'm very, very grateful for Matt and his incredible friendship and his kindness and his, you know, hard work and making sure that he looked after me and made sure that my pedal board performs as best as possible. So yeah, here it is. I love it. I have been using it now for the past months, and it is working fantastically. And I'd love to break down this pedal board for you and explain why I decided to redo my pedal board and what my goals were with this rig. Alright, so the signal chain starts off by the guitar going into the passive input of the Goodwood audio interface. Then from the passive out, it goes into the fuzz, the JHS mini foot fuzz, and from the JHS mini foot fuzz, it goes into this Dunlop GCB 95 wah. Out from the wah into the buffered input of the Goodwood audio interface. Now, if you're wondering what the tuner is connected to, the Goodwood audio interface has a tuner out, so it is completely separated from everything else. It doesn't need to go out through my volume pedal, so that's where the tuner goes, into this tuner out over here. Now back to the buffered output of the Goodwood interface, it goes into the Empress compressor in the Moore Tender Octaver. From the Octaver, it goes into my first drive, which is the Jetta Jet drive. From the Jet drive, it goes into my MI Audio Crunch Box. The Crunch Box goes into the Fox Pedal Vixen. From the Fox Pedal Vixen, it goes into the Jackson Audio Prism. So my Prism, I'm using this as a boost. Now from the Prism, it goes into my first delay, which is the TC Electronic Nova delay. I'm actually running this mono out into the Boss RV5. The reason why I'm doing that is because I don't feel like I need to have stereo delay and reverb all the time, but we'll see if that changes. From the Boss RV5, this actually goes into the effects loop of the HX Stomp, so everything else is running, going directly into the front of the Stomp except for the reverb. So that way with the reverb, I can either put it on an effect block like I have over here, where I have running it through an effects loop, or if I want to trigger it through a preset or a snapshot, I have the ability to do that. So running this to the effects loop gives me different possible options that I can use with this reverb, because the Boss IV5, the modulate setting is my favorite reverb of all time. It's amazing. And then from the HX Stomp, it goes out back into stereo out of the Goodwood audio interface, and I can either use it through amps or I can run it direct. So that is the signal chain of the board. The way that this is powered is all powered using a True Tone CS7 Pro, and I think my TC Electronic Nova delay is running into one of the 18 volt or 12 volt outputs, and there is a True Tone converter which brings it down to 9 volts, because I can run 9 volts with this, and so it saves space because the HX Stomp is running this custom current doubler made by Matt of Pedal to the Metal. And once again, he did an incredible job on this pedal board. I absolutely love it. Has been rock solid, and it is seriously my favorite pedal board setup to this day. So after using the Helix for the past almost 3 years now, 4 years, almost 4 years now, I have absolutely been loving the versatility that I've gotten out of it, where I can use it as my amp simulator with pedals, or just as pure pedal board going into an amp if I wanted to. And I loved being able to just carry something that was just so convenient. However, when it came to studio stuff, it was amazing as a studio tool, but sometimes I would be limited in ways that, well, I wouldn't say limited, but it would be like me trying to find a certain effect or trying to tweak something really quickly on the fly. I wasn't able to do it as quickly as I could on my analog pedal board, but I could do it quickly. But in terms of having the knobs laid out in front of you and adjusting things, or say I wanted to be a little bit more creative, it took a little bit more time to craft a sound that I was after, versus having something like my analog pedal board, where I could really dial in things specifically pretty easily and pretty quickly. It didn't mean I couldn't do it in the Helix, it's just the way that the workflow was using that rig. And you know, ever since seeing the HX Stomp come out and using the HX Stomp on other people's rigs or even by itself, you know, I've always wanted to throw it in a pedal board, but I couldn't either afford it at the time, or I just didn't have a need to. And it wasn't until last year when I created my EP Peace in the Chaos, where I used my Helix, but at the same time I used some of my analog pedal boards, my favorite pedal being my RV5, and using another analog delay and my octave pedal to create certain sounds which I couldn't get to the Helix. That's when I realized to myself, man, I need a hybrid setup. And I've always loved the concept of a hybrid setup, especially since the HX Stomp came out, and being able to throw my Helix onto my analog pedal board, where I can have some of my favorite effects that the Helix doesn't have, while using the Helix's amp simulations and delays, mods, reverbs. That's kind of what my aim was. My goal with this board was pretty much being able to use my Helix more as a studio tool, but also being more flexible by having some of my favorite analog pedals, which some of the sounds that the Helix can't do. For example, the modulated reverb from RV5 and my favorite octave from like a Micropog. In this case, it's my Moore Tender Octaver Mark 1. So that was the goal of my pedal board, and seriously, my pedal board hasn't changed for like 5-6 years, so this is kind of like my first major change I've done to my pedal board. And really, it's not a major change. I really only took out 2 of my pedals, which is my Boss DD7 and my Hall of Fame RV5, so I could throw in my Line 6 HX Stomp. And seriously, throwing the HX Stomp on my board has been an absolute game changer, because now I can use my pedal board for electric guitar, acoustic guitar, and bass, because of the amazing amp models that it has. So my board is super versatile, and I can literally use it for any instrument I throw at it. Well, almost every instrument, but the main instruments that I play. And what's awesome is I can use it with a tube amp or run it direct. And I love it. I love having all my favorite pedals in front of me, where I can just plug it in direct and get the tone that I want. It's great. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the tones and the build and the quality of this brand new pedal board of mine. I absolutely love it. And if you're looking for any of my sounds for the Line 6 Helix or the HX Stomp, they are now available on multitracks.com. I'll put a link down in the description below. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, consider subscribing. If you're watching this on Facebook or IGTV, feel free to hit that follow button and give me a follow. And if you want to contact me and see all my musical stuff that I do, all my music production and stuff like that, head to www.jemmuelmusic.com. Alright, peace out.